Hello, a very good evening and a warm welcome to News 360, live from our news hub here in Accra. My name is Pa Kwesiasari.
And I'm Natalie Fort. Let's get into the headlines for this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Security man of the National Communications Backbone Company prevents the Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force of the GRA from entering the company premises to recover 30 million cedis tax debt.
Georgina Theodora Wu joins Council of States as the first former Chief Justice to ever serve on the council.
Also, Minister of Education Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh says the ministry has identified about 8,000 dilapidated schools across the country.
And Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture to deploy video technology in the fight against illegal fishing. We've got details of all these stories, plus the very latest in business, sports, entertainment, and elsewhere on the continent. Now let's begin with our very first story. And a 56-year-old fisherman on board the boat named Adum No. 5 is reported missing Tuesday morning when their boat capsized at Ankobra. The 10 were returning from fishing when the incident occurred. The occupants, including 3 teenagers, were reportedly rescued. 2 of the victims are currently on admission at Axim Government Hospital. The Elembele police have begun investigations into the cause of the accident.
Away from that, but one of our top stories this evening, there was drama at the airport branch of Vodafone as the private security of the company denied the GRA Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force entry into the company premises. The visit of the task force was to recover a tax debt of 30 million cedis owed by the National Communications Backbone Limited, an affiliate of Vodafone.
The Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, visited the National Communications Backbone Limited, which is in the same building of the airport branch of Vodafone. The security man at post said he had no orders from his employers to allow them in, leading to exchanges between him and the police. The company is part of 14 companies in the Ashanti and Greater Accra regions that owe the GRA tax debt to the tune of almost 64 million cedis. Some officials of the company requested for a 5-minute meeting with the task force in camera, asking the media to wait in a room. The 5-minute meeting lasted for 30 minutes, after which the coordinator of the task force, Henry Branford Sam, briefed the media.
We are now at the premises of Vodafone, but the action is not directed at Vodafone. We have National Communication Backbone Company, which is an affiliate of Vodafone. There are conditions under which a company can claim capital allowance in the financial statement, part of which indicates that the company should be able to own the assets, should produce evidence of ownership of the assets that were used to generate the income and for which same has been claimed in the financial statement. These evidences were not available as at the time of submitting our reports.
This was the 4th place the team visited, and the places visited earlier were closed down. At the Eagle Star Enterprise at Sakaman, the task force locked up the place for owing over 604,000 cedis.
The company has 14 days within which it has to make the full payment. Otherwise, we have to come and auction the property.
From there, the team visited the ACI Construction, a subsidiary of RLG, which owed a tax debt of 14.3 million cedis. The facility was virtually empty. The cleaner the team met there tried to speak to one of his superiors on phone, but the task force directed the management to visit their office.
When he avails himself at our office, we will take up the issue with him. But for now, everybody must vacate the premises.
The logistics support services at Abilimpe owed 467,779,064 pesos for the past 2 years. The task force added the attached seal and padlock to the already locked facility. It was therefore not clear if the situation at the National Communications Backbone Limited was different.
What happened here is an issue of review, which they are saying that their tax consultants have the documents. And normally, we want to give the taxpayers the benefit of the doubt.
In other news, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated the importance of the Council of State in promoting good governance. While at the Council's first formal meeting with the President, he promised to ensure a healthy and constructive working relation amongst them.
Since its inauguration, the Council has met 24 times to deliberate on key national issues. President Akufo-Addo, at his first meeting with the Council, asked for maximum support to deliver his mandate.
Very broad remit that you have. And clearly, you who are very experienced people should understand that it is a remit to be exercised with care and circumspection. It shouldn't be a busybody's charter. We have to be careful that your activities do not fetter or clog the operations of government and of the institutions of our republic. I'm counting on you a lot to assist me.
Nana Otuo-Srebo is the chairman of the Council of State.
Council wishes to assure you, Mr. President, that it will continue to engage in wide consultations to offer credible and timely advice to you and your government to enable the responsible exercise of the people's mandate.
In a related development, President Akufo-Addo has praised former Chief Justice Georgina Theodora Wood for her dedicated service to the country. At her induction as a member of the Council of State at the Flagstaff House, the President was confident to count on her experience as a member.
Former Chief Justice Georgina Theodora Wood becomes the first former Chief Justice to serve as a member of the Council of State. Her induction brings to 25 the number of members of the Council. President Akufo-Addo, in praising her relentless service to the country, believes her rich experience will enhance the Council.
The first female leader of our judiciary, the longest serving Chief Justice we've had in our history. I think those in itself provide a rich vein of information and of service that you can have. I count a lot on this body to help me. It's been doing a lot of work already, but I know that your implication in its work is going to enhance even more the work that is being done.
The former Chief Justice pledged to work diligently to promote good governance.
You can count on my loyalty to the people of Ghana and to the Constitution and the experience that I've gained over these 47 years. You can count on my modest contribution and assistance to other members of the Council. So together, and in accordance with the requirements of the Constitution, serve you and the people of Ghana faithfully.
The President has meanwhile re-emphasized the importance of the outcome of Brexit to the economy of Ghana. At a farewell meeting with outgoing British High Commissioner John Benjamin at the Flagstaff House, the President praised the diplomat for his efforts at strengthening relations between the two countries.
The former British High Commissioner to Ghana brings his duty to a close after 3 years of service. The experienced diplomat, who is very popular in Ghana because of his social media activities, promised to still remain a friend to Ghana.
With 30 years in the diplomatic service, I'm very privileged and lucky to have had a series of amazing chapters in my life in different countries. And this chapter in Ghana has been extremely special. I note on departing that our relations between your government, Mr. President, and ours are exceptionally close, with cooperation in so many areas, many of which are not public knowledge necessarily, but are very valuable to both countries.
President Akufo-Addo praised him for his contributions on issues bothering the development of the country.
Diplomat who never shed to speak his mind, an unusual kind of diplomat. The points of contact between our two peoples are enormous. And then we have a man like you who's come who took such a clear interest in our welfare and spoke out on matters that concerned our people and helped in so many different ways.
On Brexit, President Akufo-Addo stressed how vital the outcome will be on most economies across Africa.
It's important for us because of our relations with both Europe and yourselves. Our economic relations are heavily centered there. So the way in which it will be configured is going to be of direct relevance for us. We hope the best for you and that the negotiations will go well.
Let's now turn our attention to stories relating to World Refugee Day. Now, as Ghana joins the international community to mark World Refugee Day today, some Liberian refugees say they're not happy about being left to their fate at the Bujumbura camp in the central region. These refugees who opted for local integration after the repatriation exercise in 2012 claim they have not received what they were promised. Solomon Mensah has the rest of the story.
The camp was opened by the UNHCR in 1990 following the outbreak of civil war in Liberia. The facility housed about 12,000 refugees at that time. After Liberia's election in 1997, the UN declared the country safe, urging its citizens who fled to neighboring countries to go back home. In 2012, the UNHCR began pulling its resources out of the Bujumbura camp, with the refugees given the options to either accept repatriation or integration. Today being World Refugee Day, some Liberians who chose to be locally integrated say authorities have left them unattended to. 49-year-old George Hennen says he expected to see more of the commemoration of the day.
They left us today. They went to have their meeting across there. So we are all sitting all around here doing our own thing.
Today is Refugee Day. I'm looking up to UNHCR. I'm looking up to Ghana Refugee Board, and nothing is doing right now on this camp. We are just sitting supinely, quietly, sad, like we bereaved.
For Shelton Penno, he is worried why he is considered a foreign student after his choice of local integration.
Moreover, in this country, if you go to school, to universities or something, you pay foreign fee. Despite you have been integrated in the society, you still pay a foreign fee. One like me, I pay foreign fee. So I mean, integration is of no effect to me.
Housing and Utilities Officer at the Bujumbura camp, William Bentum, told TV3 the camp is facing illegal occupation by some Ghanaians and other nationals.
We have all sorts of nationalities here, and those people are not supposed to be here. Yes, all of them here are here illegally. They don't have any documentation or whatsoever concerning that is being a refugee. They came here on their own, and when we close the camp, they will leave on their own.
The refugees, however, say they have enjoyed their stay in Ghana despite their displeasure with the Ghana Refugee Board.
Ghanaians, Liberians, you see, we are all friends. So we all treat each other.
For nothing, I came here, been friends with Ghanaians. We are all friends. I don't find no harm here. There's a peaceful country that want to grant there for them.
In a related development, World Refugee Day commemorates the obstacles refugees face each year while also celebrating their courage and strength. Helen Anyeweja has been interacting with some refugees in Ghana.
June 20 is the United Nations Day set aside to celebrate World Refugee in order to draw the public's attention to the millions of refugees and internally displaced persons worldwide. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has started the hashtag With Refugees petition to send a message of action, solidarity and responsibility on behalf of refugees to governments worldwide. Ibrahim Yaya Ibrahim, a Sudanese farmer who now lives in Ghana, says life has not been easy.
You are being refugees, there's no qualification, there's no employment, and it is not easy for life here in Ghana. And even how people deal with you as you are a refugee, sometimes you feel as seeing you as less than every human being or something like this. I'm managing for myself, I'm doing my own hard job, I'm surviving.
According to him, he wishes to have a family of his own, but being a refugee has denied him that. He is therefore asking Ghanaians to keep the peace and say no to war.
If we had what you are having in Ghana, we wasn't come to Ghana. As our home, we don't have recognizing each other. Everybody, you see, they strive his best. Ghana must learn from us, and they will not follow what we reach to. First, accepting each other, and they give love each other.
Suleiman Ibrahim, also a Sudanese speaking in Arabic, said he left his country to Ghana in 2015 from an unending war. He advises all not to ever come to that stage. Margaret Risi, protection assistant at the Ghana Refugees Board, also spoke with TV3.
The international community are not pumping in too much money. So lately, they are not being given food assistance. But those in the camps are living in shelters, and they have other social amenities like schools, and they are all enrolled on NHIS. We should try and accommodate each other and be tolerant, because being a refugee is not easy. You leave everything you have and go to somebody's country with nothing. And we should also accept refugees, because you might not know what might happen tomorrow morning.
Now, as we mark World Refugee Day, it's important for us to note that Ghana is regarded as one of the safe protection areas for refugees and persons of concern across the African continent and the world, in fact. So currently, Ghana has 11,865 refugees with 1,371 asylum seekers. That makes a total of 13,236 persons of concern. Now, these persons of concern, especially the refugees, are residing in the refugee camps which are located in the Bono Ahafu region, central and the western region. Now, just to take note, these camps in fact host 2/3 of the country's total refugee population, and the people residing in these camps come from about 34 different countries. So into detail, the nationalities of the refugees in Ghana residing in these refugee camps is 6,957 Ivorians, while Togolese are 3,386 persons. 1,364 are Liberians, with 525 being Sudanese, and 67 are from the Central African Republic, while 837 are from other countries. These other countries include mostly Syria. And when we bring this issue to bear with regards to employment, the highest are Ivorians who, in fact, don't have jobs in Ghana. They find that difficulties such as a language barrier prevents them from having jobs, and the economic implications is particularly worrying. Pa?
Right now, please. So, indeed, we have established that refugees do have challenges, and today being World Refugee Day, we want to find out how these challenges are being addressed. I'm going to go live now on Skype to speak to Ni Akosoa. He is the Communications and Public Information Associate with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Ni, thank you very much for your time. So, to begin with, how difficult or easy is it for refugees to get work permits in Ghana?
Hello, good evening to your listeners. Yes, so refugees in Ghana have to compete for jobs just like the locals, right? So it's not a matter of them being refugees so they can have access to jobs. What happens is that when they get an employment contract, then they'll have to go to the Ghana Refugee Board for the Ghana Refugee Board to assist them in getting the work permits. Now, the main challenge that they face is that a lot of employers are ignorant of the fact that they do not have to pay the taxes that are associated with expatriate staff. They see refugees as foreigners, and so they think that they have to pay that tax. right? And it's something that we are doing. We're continuously educating them, and it's good that we are having this opportunity to talk about it on your platform so that prospective employers can know that you can employ a refugee with the assistance of the Ghana Refugee Board without having to pay that tax that applies for expatriates. So that is the main challenge when it comes to them getting work permits.
Does the United Nations High Commission for Refugees play any specific role in helping to facilitate work permits for these refugees?
Hello, I'm losing you. Can you?
Yes, I was asking if the UNHCR plays any specific role in helping to facilitate work permits for these refugees.
Yes, so like I'm saying, it's the Ghana Refugee Board. They are our main interlocutors, right? So they are the ones who are responsible for assisting refugees in getting work permits. What we do at that level is we assist them to get skills, right? So we'll train them in vocational skills, we train them in technical skills, but provided business training. Through the German embassy, they are offered scholarships for tertiary education. That's the DAPI scholarship. So we have done, or we are doing things in order to make them more employable. Now the onus lies on them to find jobs and for the Ghana Refugee Board to assist them once they get an employment contract to get the work permit. Now, other things that we're doing to make it easier for them to get jobs is that we, with the partnership of Intelsat, we've been able to provide free internet access to the refugees in the Amping camp, and that we are hoping will enable them to get online jobs, right? So they don't have to compete with the people within the locality in which they live, right? So those are some of the innovations that we're trying to put in place to ensure that they are able to get employable skills and indeed are able to get jobs in the market.
All right, thank you very much, Ni Akosoa, for your time. Ni Akosoa is Communications and Public Information Associate with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees.
News360 Skype interview is brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go.
Let's move away from that. The Minister of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, says the ministry has identified about 8,000 dilapidated schools across the country. He said his outfit is collaborating with the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, to help provide some items to such schools for the time being.
Members of Parliament raised concerns about the dilapidated nature of some basic schools in the country. The MPs lamented such schools have become death traps for both teachers and pupils, citing the Breman Jambra Methodist Primary School at Odobin Brakwa district in the central region, which collapsed and killed 8 pupils. MP for Ablekuma South, Alfred Okovandapoy, stressed the need for district assemblies to put up millennium schools in order to replace such dilapidated structures.
AMA did not have the money, but we came up with a good construction design. We went to the business community, committed to passing the FWAT assessment for local government, and we dedicated all that fund to constructing the Millennium City Schools. At the time when I was leaving office, we had constructed 122 Millennium City Schools in Accra. The report today shows that the students in those buildings, the pupils, are doing well academically.
The majority leader, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, said the district assembly's directors and engineers should work together to conduct a census of schools that are in deplorable states.
Today, with population increase and the pressure on the facilities, a lot of degradation is going on, especially given the fact that these schools are not maintained regularly. They are not serviced regularly. So many of them are falling apart and decay is setting in. It's important that we have a policy.
The Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, said his outfit had identified about 8,000 deplorable schools and is working at addressing their needs.
The government is taking certain steps to secure funding, and it is going to cost us in the region of over $200 million
to be able to fix all these structures. When we passed the last Get Fund formula, what we have done is to indicate and put in the formula emergency projects. We want to be attend to this frankly, where emergency projects are what we can do immediately, something like that happen. NADMO is also collaborating with us, and in some of the schools that have their roofs ripped off, Mr. Speaker, NADMO has intervened by providing substances, roofing sheets, and other things to help these schools come back to full use.
In other news, the famous West Africa's most wanted kidnapper, Chikudubem Owamadike, aka Evans, has been identified as holding a Ghanaian passport. The Inspector General of the Nigeria Police Service, Ibrahim Potun Idris, says Ghana and Nigeria must share intelligence on the billionaire kidnapper. Speaking at the West African National Security Conference at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra.
Last week we arrested a kidnapper in Nigeria, and that's a kidnapper that operates along the coastline of West Africa. His family are based in Ghana here, and that's the only kidnapper that kidnapped, and he demands ransom in dollars, $1 million. I think most of the ransom, about $6 million so far, were in dollars, and he can keep a victim for as long as 6 months. It's very sad, really. Keeping somebody for 6 months until you finish paying that money, and he doesn't release his victim until that money is completed. The money he gives out is completed. I was told that he has his family in Ghana, and he has 2 houses in Ghana. I even have the addresses. I say Nigerian Ghanaian, but he's a Nigerian, but he also has a Ghanaian passport. And I think that's something people have to look at.
We'll bring you more on this development in our subsequent bulletins here on TV3. Let's see what's still to come in the bulletin. Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture to deploy video technology in the fight against illegal fishing.
You're still watching News360 live from our news hub here in Accra. Your views, comments and suggestions are welcome. We still have business coming up.
Good evening to you, and thanks for staying with us on News360. Let's do business now. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Let's begin with one of our headline stories where the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is to deploy video technology to fight illegal fishing in Ghana's territorial waters. Sector Minister Elizabeth Afolekwe, at a meeting with fisherfolk in Accra, explained the technology will involve the use of video documentary to guide the work of the National Task Force.
The fast depletion of Ghana's fish stock has been blamed largely on increasing illegal fishing practices. The use of light, dynamite, unapproved net, chemicals and other dangerous implements in fishing destroys fish species. However, efforts are stamping out the practice with the primary aim of protecting and preserving the fish stock have often been met with sharp division among fisherfolk. The development nearly went out of hand when those who are opposed to the measures recently attacked other stakeholders at Adan and Accra. But the sector ministry remains focused and on Tuesday, June 20, reached a consensus with the fisherfolk to bring an end to the practice of illegal fishing. The minister then outlined some measures aimed at sustaining the fight.
We have taken a decision.
We have all vowed to end illegal fishing in all forms. For this reason, we are going to deploy video recording technology in all our territorial waters to monitor and film all illegal activities. That will make it easier for us to track and arrest those involved.
As a sign of reconciliation, the sector minister, Elizabeth Afolekwe, threw an open invitation to all those who have cases pending before the Fisheries Commission to seek dialogue, but warned of stiffer punishment for future offenders.
Anyone caught engaged in any form of illegal fishing practice henceforth would have himself to be blamed. We will not approach any of those cases with kid gloves anymore.
Members of parliament from the coastal regions took turns to reiterate the need to end all manner of illegal fishing in Ghanaian waters and threw their support behind the sector minister.
And still remaining on that matter, fishermen from the coastal regions of Ghana boo at their colleagues who endorsed illegality in fishing as the sector minister reached a consensus on the ban on light fishing and other dangerous practices. The attempt by the fishermen from Sekondi to justify the rationale for ending illegal fishing was met by angry reactions from other fisherfolk who insisted enough of illegalities. A report by Peter Kwao Adato.
It was a peaceful deliberation as stakeholders assembled at the Nat Hall to find a lasting solution to disturbing illegal fishing in Ghana's waters. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development set the tone, drawing attention to why the need to end illegalities.
The continuous reckless exploitation and depletion of our fisheries resources in Ghana, if not halted, will lead to the total collapse of our fishery and the economic, social, nutritional, and food security consequences will be enormous for the nation to accommodate. It is against this background that it is imperative for all of us to act now.
The fisherfolk were then given the opportunity to speak their minds on how to deal with the menace. Beginning from the Greater Accra regions, the fishers were invited on regional basis to air their views. But the stance of the chairman for the Sekondi Inshore Fishers Association, Francis Kwesieshan, muddied the waters. His attempt to justify the illegal methods in the fishing industry attracted sharp protests from other stakeholders in the hall. Francis Kwesieshan's refusal to back down led to a prolonged booing and hooting to force him to leave the stage. In the end, sanity prevailed and a consensus was reached to end forthwith all manner of illegal fishing practices in Ghana's territorial waters. The paramount chief of Elmina traditional area, Nana Kojo Dumasa, warned against politicization.
Politicization of everything in this country continues to draw us back. We want everyone to see the call as a national one and embrace it wholeheartedly. It is for our own good and the future of our children.
The meeting was attended by representatives from all the coastal regions, Volta, Greater Accra, Central and Western regions.
Now away from fishing to another developing story, some public and private drivers have welcomed the suspension of the controversial towing levy, which was scheduled to have taken off on July 1 this year. Now they are, however, asking governments to totally scrap the mandatory road safety fee and rather make it optional. Meanwhile, government is currently in consultation with the road safety management service providers and other stakeholders to find the best solution to the matter. The national towing project scheduled to take off on July 1, 2017 has been postponed by government following concerns raised by the general public as well as other people concerning the quantum of money expected to be paid as well as other matters. The issue has been now put on the table for broader consultation to take place. But we're here to find out really what are the expectations of drivers regarding this particular project.
They should make the towing booth available with the numbers, just like the fire service, the police, that you can call. So that in case your car broke down somewhere, let's say to Tekwashi, you just call and then tell them where you are. Then they'll come and tow your car, you pay. Instead of charging me, if the whole year my car didn't break down on the road, I'll lose my money.
For me, I would say they should
government should take it out completely for now.
The postponed national towing project follows the continuous discussions and concerns raised on the fixed fee and mandatory nature of the levy. Deputy Transport Minister Titus Glover, responding to the need for the suspension, told TV3 Business that although the towing levy is necessary considering the carnage caused by broken down vehicles, further consultation is necessary.
Even though there is a parliamentary legislation to back this arrangement, he thinks that the national safety and the stakeholders should go back and do some of these consultations so that everybody will be part of it, so that going forward we'll be able to save lives on our road.
Many critics of this project have welcomed the suspension. One of such is the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, who have already presented a petition to the presidency for its suspension. Again, the Chamber is asking for clearer scientific assessment of the project. Tax expert Abdallah Ali Nachia has suggested government should consider making the project optional.
The unfortunate ones will stand to benefit. If that is the case, then why don't we come by it through the insurance scheme? Because all vehicles, all motorbikes are supposed to be insured. And so the insurance companies may want to tell they are insured. We have this additional service for insurance. You top up, and when you break down, we will be there to pick you up. That gives an option than to make it compulsory.
Despite its readiness to sit for further talks, the Road Safety Management Services says the suspension will affect their activities.
We have refurbished trucks, we have imported trucks, we have ambulances, we have motorbikes, we have deployed multimedia call centers around the country. We have individuals across various sections who are supposed to report back. We have overheads that we need to cover.
Well, so there are more news updates on our website, it's 3news.com. We have more after this. Stay with us.
Hello, Sports News Time now on News 360. Let's get straight into the stories. Then Ghana captain Asamoah Gyan says the upcoming international friendly games are important for the Black Stars because they would help the team keep momentum and aid their world rankings. The Black Stars are in training in Accra after their Nations Cup qualifying win over Ethiopia and will travel to Texas on Friday for the first of two friendlies against Mexico next Wednesday and then later the USA on Saturday. Jan reckons that while the games have been tagged as mere friendlies, they are vital for the team going forward.
It's very, very important because it's good for our FIFA ranking. So we just go in there to treat it like a serious game. Although it's a friendly, but it's a game that will build our reputation also. So we just go in there to play our normal game, make sure we win. And football, anything can happen, but we focus on the friendly because it's very, very important for us.
And related to that, Jerry Akamenko has been to the brink of career death and back. That's literally. The centre-back feared his career was over when an injury ended his 2014 World Cup hopes, but he's back playing again with renewed ambitions at both club and international level.
Injuries are any player's worst nightmare. And 3 years ago, Jerry Akamenko faced up to his as he stood on the cusp of his greatest career moment. The centre-back had worked his name into the final squad for Ghana's World Cup campaign, but an injury in the final warm-up game against Holland scuppered that. As he lay on the Rotterdam pitch, the tears flowed. What followed was even tougher as Akamenko endured 2 years out before working his way back through trials. Now back in the national side, he says that injury was the lowest point of his career.
It was very difficult to have that kind of injury at that moment, and then if I could look back how I was playing that season before that injury, it was really a very difficult moment. I understand life. I needed somebody who could just be there for me and say, hey, this is what I'm doing for you. But, well, I looked into it and then I expected whatever I expected them and they couldn't do it. So I just left them. Friends, some was there, some was not, some wasn't there. And then most of them that was there, I don't think they will be calling every day, they will be texting every day about the same thing.
Akamenko may have lost what could potentially have been his best 3 years as a professional. But now back on the pitch, he still has lofty ambitions.
It's always been a dream to play in the highest team, like a team that wins the league and then playing the Champions League. Well, I've been in all these kind of average teams, and I know how it feels like. So I want to also enjoy playing in this kind of level, like I mean. So this is what I'm looking up to. Apart from the club side, I want to be in Ghana team that win the African Cup of Nations. God bless you. You're welcome, bro.
Jerry Akamenko there. And in the latest twist to the issue of tax fraud that has hit Spanish football, Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho has been accused by Spanish prosecutors investigating his time as Real Madrid's head coach. Mourinho is accused of defrauding Spanish tax authorities up to the tune of £2.9 million in taxes between 2011 and 2012, a claim he has denied. Prosecutors said he did not declare income from the use of his image rights in order to get, quote, an illicit benefit. Other big names to have been accused of tax fraud in Spanish football recently include Cristiano Ronaldo, the Real Madrid striker who has been summoned to testify on July 31st in a case in which he is accused of withholding taxes up to the tune of about $12 million from the authorities. On to boxing now, and Gennady Golovkin has slammed Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor as merely a money fight and insists his battle with Saul Canelo Alvarez is a true boxing fight. The super fight has been widely criticized and labeled a gross mismatch due to the Irishman's lack of boxing expertise in comparison to that of Mayweather. The bout will earn each boxer a staggering $100 million, and Mayweather claims it is the bout the people want to see, but both Golovkin and promoter Oscar De La Hoya are not buying that.
My fight with Canelo, this is true fight. This is boxing fight. Floyd and Conor, this is show. It's different. People understand. If you want watch show, please watch. Why not? If you want to watch true fight, boxing fight, sport fight, professional fight, please welcome to my fight.
Here comes the circus into town once again. This is really an event of marketing, of publicity. This is another hoax from Mayweather. Obviously, I know for a fact it's not going to deliver any type of action inside the ring.
De La Hoya not holding back there. Let's wrap up with some tennis. And defending champion Andy Murray was knocked out of the Aegon Championship in the first round by world number 90 Jordan Thompson on a day of shocks. The world number 1 lost in straight sets to Thompson, a late replacement for the injured Arjaz Bedini. It is the first time since 2012 that Murray has lost his opening match at the Queen's Club. There were major other losses on the day. Second seed Stan Wawrinka and third seed Milos Raonic also lost in the first round.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's now go for some sport of international news. Human rights chief says more than 2,000 people have been killed in ethnic violence in the Kasai region of the Democratic Republic of Congo in the last 3 months. Investigators identified the causes to government forces and a hitherto unknown militia group. They reported that 42 mass graves have been discovered and there was evidence of people being shot, burned or hacked to death. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church says more than 3,000 people were killed in fighting between security forces and militias in the Kasai region since last October.
For more international news, visit our website, 3news.com. Returning the very latest from the world of entertainment here on News 360 shortly. Stay with us. You're watching News 360. Entertainment news this evening. Actress, TV personality Gloria Sappho has disclosed that she was heartbroken when her deceased ex-lover moved on before their breakup 3 years ago. According to her, the expectations she had for the relationship were not met. 2014, then-boyfriend of actress Gloria Sappho, Justice Owusu Dankwa, proposed to her during the Kumawood and Akobing Awards in Kumasi. A year after the proposal, Ghanaians started questioning when they will tie the knot. but little was heard of them until Gloria was seen without the ring, which raised doubts. Reports had it that he allegedly had a child in the States with another woman. In an interview on The Delay Show in 2016, Gloria revealed that she returned the ring when things were not going well in the relationship. She also disclosed that she was pregnant with a deceased ex-lover, but lost it to a miscarriage. Last week, news broke of the sudden demise of Justice Owusu Dankwa, who passed on at a 37 military hospital in Accra. The cause of his death is unknown, but the Ifira actress revealed in an interview with TV3 that she is saddened by the death.
It was a very sad, news. Very, very sad, extremely sad, to hear that he just passed on like that. I mean, just like that.
According to her, she expected marriage with the ex-lover, but things didn't turn out well, leading to a breakup.
We had a relationship till I think not even up to 2 years, let's say 2 years. And then I realized what I was expecting from the relationship didn't materialize, so I just had to end it.
Asked whether she put pressure on him to propose, the actress revealed that she had no knowledge of such. She, however, regretted that he proposed to her in public.
Everybody's in a relationship. Every celebrity, every star, every actress, every personality. I mean, every human being is in a relationship or the other. But any when your time, because he did that, it brought a whole lot. And that's how come I'm being tagged too. That's sad news.
Gloria Sappho has confirmed being in a relationship and pleaded with Ghanaians to accept that she had moved on before the death.
I realized that he had moved on. I mean, he even moved on before we broke up. I'm dating.
She has disclosed plans of coming up with her own TV show.
Well,
Quite
sad
emotional.
news. Yeah,
Quite
very
emotional.
emotional
Wish all the
there.
best.
And on that note, we conclude News 360. It came to you live from our news hub here in Accra. My name is Pa Kwesiasari.
And I'm Natalie Ford. Thanks so much for your time this evening. There's more news on our website. Log on to www.3news.com. Remember, news at 10 will simulcast on 3FM 92.7. Next is Do Not Love Me So Much. Stay with you.